I do like chocolate.
Yeah, I said you can have one.
What, the ice cream thing?
No.
Oh, right. Fair enough.
Then-
David Smith, welcome. Age and pronouns, please.
I'm 24.
And your pronouns?
I'm a male.
And your pronouns?
He, him.
Thank you. Which prompt do you disagree with?
All of them.
All of them. Fantastic. We have so much to talk about. Which one would you like to start with?
Oh, you know what? Let's go from the bottom to the top.
That's always my motto. Right,
I like
so
it.
say it again, Joe.
Oh, I like it.
There we go. Said from the woman herself. Right, yes, men's friendships levels surface. Talk to me, David.
I mean, here's the thing. Men will actually die for other men, whereas women, they'll fall out over one woman making a comment about something stupid. So, I mean, but our friendships aren't really surface level, are they?
TikTok friendly language, unalive. That's the first one, right? So men will unalive for other men. In what circumstances would they need to do that?
Just look at the British military.
Are you talking about the military?
Yeah.
Oh, so are they your friends?
Well, I mean, they would be if I joined. They'd be friends for life. You'd have lots of men.
So in short, no, like they're not your friends right now.
No. But I know that my friends would back me up. If I ever got into problems in the club or anything, they'd back me up.
No, I love that, David. I love that, like, the example you've given is that when men get violent, your friends will be there to be violent on your behalf as well. That sounds great.
I think you have more. A brick has more intelligence than you because like the answers you're giving are just so
Let's
dense.
not talk about intelligence because that's ableist, right? So ultimately, the things you've been giving me is first talk about the military and they're not even your friends, and then talk about how your friends will be there for you in a fight. So you've actually just proved my point, how that's very surface level, right? Is that you think that that's a representation of a great friendship. Like, oh, I'm going to be in a fight. Let me call my friends and they'll be there. Great. Wonderful. The odd occasion when it never happens, they'll be there for you, right?
I mean, they're always there for me. If there's one boy man in the group who's not got a job, he's having a tough time of it, we'll take care of him. We'll buy him stuff. We'll help him out. You know what I mean? You women don't do that. They never do that. They'll just judge you, and every woman knows that that's true.
What things have you been buying for your friends?
We'll get him a drink. You know, we'll look after him. We'll make sure that he's part of the team. If we go out for a meal, we'll make sure he eats too. He's our friend, even if we don't have any money.
So even if you don't have any money?
Even if he doesn't have any money.
Right. So what, every day you're going to feed him? You're going to buy him a drink every day?
Not every day, like maybe when we go out. And, you know, if he needs help finding a job, for example, I have a friend who's autistic and he had communication difficulties. He needed help finding a job. We helped him find a job because he's our male friend. And for you to say it's surface level, that's just, it's very clear to me that you've never had a group of men in your life who just support you and are there for you.
Yeah, it's true. Like when you project like that, that obviously proves everything. So, again, let's scrap that. So you buy your friends drinks.
You're so dense.
So if you're going to be ableist, I'm going to drop you, David. Do you know what ableism is?
I know what ableism is.
Stop doing it, okay? Let's stop doing that because otherwise we're not here for a mature conversation. You're here to, uphold oppressive systems, and we're not here for that. You understand? Yeah? Perfect. Glad we're on the same page. So, surface level, meaning basically that you will buy them a drink, they'll be there for you if you have a fight, and you'll help someone find a job.
Do you know how hard it is for someone to find a job? Do you know what it's like to live life without a job?
Yeah.
Bro, because you have a silver spoon in your mouth, you don't understand these things. You just...
I don't actually, it's in the dishwasher. But the point I'm trying to make
your
is
middle-class self doesn't understand certain things.
What you're doing is you are discussing things that are not something that happens on a daily basis in your friendship group, right? You gave an example of buying him a drink when he might want one, which is not something you're doing every day. You then gave an example of fighting someone on someone's behalf if you're in a club. Doesn't happen every day. You then gave an example of the military, who you're not even friends with, right? The point I'm giving is you're not giving me anything about your friendships that happen continuously as a way of support. You're giving one-off situations that might occur.
Okay, my friendships, I have advice from my friends. We go visit each other, we get connections, they give me advice. we hold each other accountable in a certain way, in a way that women don't do.
What do you hold each other accountable for? Because I see it as like right now on this live, I've tried to hold you accountable for 2 or 3 things, and I've heard the way you've responded to me. So how are you guys holding yourselves accountable? Give me some examples.
Well, I mean, I'm not having some push boy who doesn't understand anything about life try and hold me accountable.
I'm going to have to mute you now because you've gone back to ad hominems again. Do you see how this works? You see how this works, right? It's like we're having a mature conversation and you have to start getting personal about things, right?
I think
That's
you're
not
just a bit sensitive.
No, actually, it's the other way around because you're the one who's actually using ad hominems, which means you're the one who's experiencing the triggers. That's how it works, right? I don't say anything about you personally. You, however, have non-stop. So again, I come back to the point I'm making, which is that when you talk about friendships on surface level and you think yours have depth, the examples you've given me are one-off things that rarely happen. So when you say you hold your friends accountable with each other, give me some examples. What are you holding each other accountable for?
So, our actions. If I do something stupid, my friend can come to me and say, "Oh, is that ableist?" Yeah, I'm not allowed to say that word. Can I say silly?
No, it's probably still the same thing. You can actually use the word that describes what it is that you're doing. And
Okay.
just as someone points out in the chat, you tokenized your friend who you said was autistic, right?
It's not tokenizing. He literally struggles at life, and he wouldn't be able to do that without us.
Use an example. You spoke about your friend who is autistic, and yet you're up here being ableist over and over. So how is that supporting your friend?
Because he's not sensitive like you.
Okay, so being sensitive is not what oppression looks like. You understand that's not what it's about, right? You using certain words that stigmatizes against people with disabilities or learning difficulties, that's upholding the oppression they experience. And while you're here saying that you support your friend who is autistic, you're also being ableist at the same time. That's not being sensitive, that's called education, that's what this live is about. If you get triggered by that and don't like it and want to use ad hominems at me, that's a reflection on you, not me.
But I assume that you say men's friendships are surface level, women's aren't. Can you explain to me how they're not?
Sure. So again, we're here to talk about men. I didn't once say that women's aren't or are. We're talking about men's behaviors because I'm here to hold men accountable for their misogyny, their insecurities, their actions. You deflecting is doing the exact same thing, proving my point, is you can't stay.
Oh my God.
Hey, like, it's you that keeps getting triggered by this. I don't understand why.
I ain't triggered by nothing, bro.
Then why are you using ad hominems and laughing all the time about something that's quite serious when, as I said earlier, you talk about how you support your friend, but then you're upholding oppression towards him at the same time?
Bro, you're just so...
Doing it again. So I'm going to move you up so that Kitty can join because I don't know at this point whether this individual's trolling or not, but I actually don't think he is.
Hi, Kitty42, she, her. David, if you care about your autistic friends so much that you made a point about mentioning them in regards to the prompt, would you like to continue meowing?
Can I just ask, is Kitty your real name or is it just a TikTok name?
That's not your business. So would you like to discuss back to the prompt?
Yeah,
so you keep being ableist, but yet you claimed you care about your autistic friend to the point you brought him into this discussion, and yet you're sitting here laughing and then insulting Lex unnecessary. What's your problem?
I just think that Lex has gone through his life without any challenges, and you know, he's always been told by mummy and daddy that he's so special, and you know, this is the result.
So why are you so triggered by Lex? You know nothing about him. You're making complete assumptions.
I could just tell.
You can't tell anything. That's assumptions. There's no facts.
He's literally a spoiled little brat growing up.
No. That's once again assumptions. Now, Lex is actually my best friend, so I am aware of the facts. And you're projecting something about seeing a man educating is triggering you. Let's unpack that. You came up here to speak about friendships and surface level ones. Clearly you have other men in your life who you're friends with that you care about. So let's speak about that. Why are the so-called friendships Why are the so-called friendships not surface level then? Instead of getting triggered by another man, let's speak about the prompt.
Yeah, because we do stuff for each other and we help each other out and we advise each other. Like we do stuff together, we bond, and that's what life is about. It's about bonding and just doing stuff together that you remember. That's what we're doing with the 80 years we have on the planet.
Okay, and that's the great thing. So why do you need to insult others and then be ableist? Because that that harms your friend.
Every time I speak, he's just like, "Oh, that's surface level stuff. That's you help your autistic friend. That's surface level stuff." Like, is that all you know how to say?
No, that's not what he was saying, and that's not what I was saying.
That just goes to show how much you were paying attention rather than wanting to just respond with ad hominems.
David, what's so funny about an oppressive system that harms your friend and you're upholding? And yet you claim to be a good friend. Ableism.
There's no such thing.
There's no such thing as ableism.
Wow.
Not in the way that you're saying, like this extreme
I'm
thing.
fully informed. I'm fully educated on this.
I can't say the word S. I'm not going to say it. I'm going to say it because it offends him so much, but I can't say the S word.
No, it's not that it offends him. It's ableist language. It upholds ableism. It's been used to harm autistic people. How do I know that? Because I've studied it historically. I'm also autistic. So don't go there.
Being out of your depth here a little bit, buddy.
When it comes to ableism, are you just going to sit up here and keep meowing?
I just thought it's funny because your name's Kitty.
It's not funny. Do you know what's funny? Is that you think ableism is not real. And I think if you're giving a perfect example of a surface level friendship and how much you care about your friend. That's embarrassing for you and it's sad.
Staples, I don't, if I'm honest, unless you do. Winjo.
Joe again. But yeah.
The irony is that one of the examples he gave was that him and his friends always hold each other accountable. And the reason why I wanted to know what specifically is because he's being held accountable now by someone who's not a friend, but yet clearly his friends are not doing the same thing because otherwise he'd be educated enough to realize that what he's doing is harmful to his friends. So they're clearly not holding each other accountable, which again is proving the point of how men's friendships are surface level, because where's the accountability?
Also, as well, I just having a quick look through the comments, and what we don't do here is we don't uphold one oppressive system to dismantle another. So we don't do personal comments here. We don't use more ableism to think we're showing support to any of the mods or anything like that. Please don't do that. I'm seeing all the comments here. Please respect the mod reminders. We know it's triggering. We know it's frustrating. Okay, but please do not do that. Respect the mod reminders. Regardless if you think it's an attempt to show support, you will be muted. Okay, we're not dismantling one system, oppressive system, by upholding and reinforcing another. We're not doing that. Because then ultimately what we're doing is exactly what the guest done there. Upholding ableism and then simultaneously insulting others. So please take a break if needed, okay? Anyway, I'll go down and I'm not going to say what I want to say, so I'll leave it.
Thanks, Kitty.
Anyway.
Appreciate it. Bye-bye.
Big love. Bye.
Big love. Welcome back, Sleepy C. Good to see you again. Agent pronouns, please.
Hey, what's going on?
Not much. Agent pronouns, please. It's a new live, so I still have to ask.
Oh, you're good. 18, he, him.
Thank you. So, where were we?
I disagreed with you that all of the masculine and feminine like toy sections and things of that nature are, well, from my understanding, your perspective on it was that they're all just societal constructs. I took a different view, and I argued that by saying I believe that there are biological factors at play there, and I don't think it's like I don't think it's complete. Obviously, it's not. There's nuance to it. It's a nature versus nurture thing. There's nuance to it. I don't think either side is 100% right, but I do think that there are decently prevalent biological factors at play, even though there are outliers all the time.
Okay. So I don't know whether you had like studies that you wanted to share with the chat.
Yeah. I'd love to.
Type some of them in the chat for people to start looking at.
Yeah, I'm gonna go grab the links real quick. Hold on.
All right. So for those people in the chat, Sleepy C came up yesterday, and we were discussing about masculinity, femininity. Sleepy C. I will say before anyone says anything, Sleepy C was very respectful on the panel. So whilst we can understand that we might disagree with what people are saying, we can still also be respectful to the conversation and the unpacking of that education. So please just bear that in mind. Sorry, Sleepy, you posting. There we go. So first one has been put in the chat. So it's the PubMed NCB 38447820. Yeah, so I did invite Sleepy C back today to continue the conversation.
There's a really good, like, the best one is from Harvard. I think it was like 4, but the link is too big, like the character limit's reached. So I'm trying to figure out what
maybe, like, if you know the organization of the company, not company, but sorry, the who conducted the study, and you're able to maybe put in like the title of it and maybe the date, that might be a way for people to find it. I think so, JB Social. Okay, so Lizzie is saying one of the links isn't a study.
Which one?
We'll wait for Lizzie to respond just in case. I don't want to get that. I'm not sure, Kitty. It might have been mentioned, but not necessarily the whole. I think it was mentioned.
And to the person in the comments that said it's about primates, yeah, that the reasoning for that is because it's hard to do it, like we talked about yesterday, without a societal background like we have with humans. So our closest mirror would be.
PubMed is just an abstract, nothing else.
What'd you say?
The PubMed one is just an abstract, nothing else.
Yeah, on a lot of hold on. Certain forms, and I don't know if that one's a collegiate one, but you have to have a certain account or a membership to see the full study.
And did you read the whole study?
I did not read the full study, but the abstract is a summary of the study.
Yeah, we're not going to be able to take that as something that we can prove if you haven't read the whole thing.
Okay. You can use the other two still.
Okay, they'll have a look at it. People in the chat will. I'm still curious though. So what is it that, do you believe that there are certain things that you could do for yourself that would make you more masculine?
Yes.
Can you name them?
You could get in the gym. You could.
All right, pause. So getting in the gym, why does that make you more masculine as opposed to it making you stronger?
I suppose. Okay, I can see that point, because yes, if a woman could get in the gym, but I think more so what'd you say?
I wasn't even saying that. I just meant in general, why wouldn't it just make you stronger or maybe fitter or healthier? Why would it make you more masculine specifically?
Well, because men are naturally stronger.
So again, being stronger on average doesn't automatically make you more masculine. It just makes you stronger. So this is the point, right? If you didn't even know what the word masculine was, and it was made up as a concept to then say, this is what we're going to say masculinity is, and people then are conditioned to believe it and associate things to it, that's just because society decided to agree upon that. It doesn't make it factually true.
Yeah, but they agreed on that. They agreed on that fact for a reason, though.
Yeah, because there was no one there maybe to combat it or, challenge it. So enough people agreed because they thought, yeah, why not? And now look how we've evolved and we are able to unpack and look at things in a deeper lens. It's still not a fact, is it? It's just something people decided to go along with. You could
but I'm saying it has rootings in it has its roots in
oppression.
behavioral bases. Yes, it also does have I don't disagree with you that it does have roots in oppression.
If something like that has roots in oppression, then why wouldn't you want to unpack that as opposed to hold on to it if it's linked to oppressing women, girls, and femme-presenting people? I would say that men need to detach from their masculinity because the concept in itself is misogyny.
No.
The roots of it were upholding oppression. There's like you also agreed to that. If it's got
Yeah,
roots,
yes, you can have roots in fact and oppression.
okay. So again, it's not a fact because just because people decided to agree upon things, making things masculine as a descriptor, doesn't make it true.
Well, they agreed upon these things as a descriptor because that's how that's just naturally what. Okay,
Naturally,
they gave behaviors that a man is more naturally inclined to be, and they labeled that as masculine, and they took female traits and they labeled them as feminine. They're not 100% universally applicable to both at all times, but on average, on a majority, a man is going to be more masculine in that oppressive sense than a woman, and a woman's going to be more feminine on average.
no, you can't be oppressive naturally. That in itself.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
You did. You said naturally oppressive.
No, I'm saying you're
Okay, I am going to repeat it back because that's what you said, right? You said men were more naturally oppressive with those characteristics, or I don't know what word you said there, but you said men are naturally more oppressive. Maybe it was.
No, I was saying men like the masculinity that you're saying is oppressive is more natural
Okay.
to a man.
So then, not factual.
What did you say? You went on pause.
The Harvard one doesn't say that it does cause that testosterone does cause. It says that it may do.
It says that it has an extreme positive correlation, and so does the other study, and so does the abstract. And I could go get more. If you can give me a study that completely disproves me, then I will 100% agree with you.
And it doesn't say that it does, it says that it may do. So when you have correlation, that's not factual. You need causation for it to be factual.
But the test does cause that. Like, I don't understand what's so hard to
No, it doesn't.
grasp about that.
Because you said it's a correlation. So it's not a cause.
Okay, I understand the difference between correlation and causation, but if you have
So then that's
okay,
like
there are other factors to it, and you could look at the primate study as another example. I could go find 1,000 more if you want.
you couldn't, that's the point. Because if there were that many out there that would prove the point, then there would be no discussions constantly being had.
Well, you're saying you're denying biology. I don't get it.
You're getting mixed up with biology versus conditioning. You think everything is biology.
Okay, then why? Okay, then why?
It's not biology.
Then okay, masculine traits are biological, though.
That's also not true.
Yes, it is.
How?
Okay,
You're saying-
explain.
Would you say broad shoulders is masculinity?
It's a masculine trait.
So if a woman has broad shoulders, she has a masculine trait?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
I mean, you can say it as much as you want. Again, you're just conditioned to believe this, and you're not like able to.
Okay.
detach from-
Who on average? Okay. Who on average has broader shoulders?
Because I wanted to. Again, that doesn't mean that it automatically is masculinity. Or
Yes, it does. By definition, yes, it does. What are you talking about?
Maybe definitions are made up, buddy. Yeah, we all decided on things in the past and in history, as I said, because we did not challenge these things. We decided to agree upon them, right?
Yeah, but
So-
the
so hold
reasoning
on,
is because
hold
it's
on.
true.
Wait, hold on. So are you saying that biology is the reason why, like, for example, slavery existed?
No. How does that
Because
correlate?
that's an oppressive system that was still upheld. So why is that any different to misogyny?
Well, because slavery had no like basis. Like you're not naturally inclined to be a slave owner.
Perfect. Not naturally inclined, right?
Yes.
Okay, so now let's look at the fact that when we talk about the ways that men, on average, abuse more and are more violent, is that masculine?
Yes.
So it's masculine to be abusive.
Yes, and that's not a good trait.
You just pew-pewed yourself right in the foot, buddy. Terrible. Hello, Darian.
Oh my gosh. 29 he him. I don't get how Sleepy has managed to say no one's naturally a slave owner, and I can agree on that. Like, no one is naturally that, but your argument here is that white supremacists got it wrong back in the day because we're not naturally a slave owner, but we as a human species have it right now because men are naturally violent and abusive. That's what you're saying right now.
No,
Sleepy.
it's not.
No, Sleepy. That's what you said. You may not have I actually heard yourself, and I understand you don't want to look like you've done that, but that is verbatim, literally what you said.
Okay, I have a question.
You laughed at Lex bringing up slave owners as if to say, "Oh, obviously we were wrong because white people are not naturally slave owners." But in the same breath, you've basically said that naturally, biologically, men are abusive.
That's
What you said.
okay. Can I respond?
And also, I want to make it abundantly clear that the abstract that you put up, it said there are negligible differences, and that the behaviors literally there's social, cognitive, culture, other reasons outside of the biology for why things are. Why,
and I've said 50 times that it's not completely biological or societal. So please listen to me next time.
No.
And hold on. I just let you talk.
So then you can't use that as like a source. You can't cite that as a source to prove your point that men are biologically more violent because of testosterone. If in the same breath you're then telling us that it's not 50%, it's not all of this, it's not all the way biological, it's not all the way social conditioning. You can't use that as a source then, because that source undermines the very thing that you're trying to argue, which is that somehow testosterone and biology makes men more violent and more aggressive. When one of the specific and Lex already told you about the other source you use, whereby causation and correlation are not equal. They're not the same thing. And so your sources that you say there are dozens of sources, you've not sent sources that back up your claim whatsoever. And the sources that you sent have sided with us, and you're trying to pivot and backpedal.
Is that Sleepy respond and see what he has to say? Sleepy, over to you.
My sources do back up my claim. You're just denying that. And the whole slavery point, where I just agreed with him that okay, let me ask you both this: who is more physically abusive in DV cases?
What?
Who is physically abusive in DV cases?
Between who? I'm just confirming.
A man and a woman. Who's more likely to be the physical perpetrator?
Men, but that doesn't back up your point.
That's okay. Okay.
That doesn't
if
back up
men
your
are
point.
more likely to do something, that's a masculine trait. What the fuck don't you understand about that?
No, wait. Hold on. And this is you're so close to the point, and yet somehow missing it. Like you're so close to the point. Yeah, men have been conditioned by society to only take one emotion out of all of the emotions that there are across the spectrum, and that one emotion is anger. Okay, you take that and you tell men that they're not allowed to talk about any of the other emotions, and therefore don't socialize with other people and talk about their emotions. And then when they get into a relationship, they're also conditioned to think of women as less than. So when they are dating women, they're I can't even say they're courting women. They're picking a woman that they'd like to have sex with, because ultimately a lot of men aren't even in a predicament where they can say they like women, because if they did like women, they would see them as human beings. But all of that conditioning is what leads to them being abusive. That doesn't make it masculine. It's just that society has conditioned men to be more abusive.
Okay, do you think if somebody's more aggressive, they're more likely to be abusive?
That's not the way aggression works. You're conditioned to be more abusive. You're conditioned to be more aggressive. You're not biologically more aggressive and therefore biologically more abusive.
So you don't think a man is more biologically aggressive?
No, that's not biologically, not at all.
Bro.
Stevie, don't be patronising because you are demonstrating you're out of your depth here with the things you're saying.
You are.
I'm not out of my depth. He's sitting here denying facts, bro.
You've not mentioned one. So
You've not mentioned a single fact this whole time.
Okay, all right, Darion. All right, Darion. If you go out, right, and you see two monkeys and one has higher tests and one has lower tests, which one's going to be more aggressive?
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my
Answer
god.
the question, bro. Don't oh,
Oh
my
my
god
God.
me. Just answer the question.
Dude, I don't know how many more times I can explain it to you. Testosterone is not going to make someone biologically more aggressive.
All right.
It's conditioning. And he's run away now. But I just want to make it abundantly clear, everyone, that is a prime example of being conditioned so much so.
Yeah, it's embarrassing.
You think that your belief is biological. That there is the peak of how far conditioning can go, because he believes with his full chest that the aggression that we are conditioned to have is in us biologically, and that has been taught to him through the patriarchy, through ages and ages of men telling his men in his family, men are naturally more aggressive. Men are naturally more aggressive. That's what his family have taught him for generation after generation. That is conditioning through and through. And he was out of his depth. And he was so close to the point, yet skipping over it every time in order to back up what he had believed from his own family's conditioning. Anyway, I will drop.
Hey, Darren.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Loss? No. To be honest, for me, it was just more the fact that he believed that being abusive and being violent is more masculine. That was the sticking point for me. As soon as he said yes, I was just like, yeah, I'm done. I've checked out already. That was next level. Like, imagine how much harm that does to like people, younger than him, who might hear that being masculine, which is something that boys are also conditioned to strive towards achieving. Like, I don't like the word achieving, but I can't think of that one at the moment. But like, boys striving towards what makes them a masculine individual to fit in with society, etc., then gets basically told from someone that being masculine is when you're abusive and violent. Like, imagine what that kind of a message does. It's ridiculous. Unbelievable. Oh, Casa, good word. Emulate. Geneva, how's it going? Yeah, not too bad. Jeremiah, very close to getting blocked, buddy, because you just came back. So you come back saying the same nonsense over and over. It just gets a bit boring, If you're just here to kind of troll the space, just leave. There's no point. Queen of Stalker.
Hi, sorry. While we're talking about it, I just want to highlight something that I talk about naturally as a child who has multiple siblings under one roof, right? And we talk about having like different sets of parents, right? Like the mum that I had is not the mum my younger brother has. And in terms of patriarchy and conditioning, right? And I'm not going to use that guess as an example, but I just want to highlight something that could be quite insidious. And just to think about on a larger scale, imagine how many other men and women have been conditioned to believe that, right? And that those men and women pair up and they have a relationship and they are married and have kids. And I'm not here to talk about like the women having internalized misogyny from their conditioning, but I do want to highlight the very real situation that I had heard about, but it can be quite insidious thinking about now through the lens of misogyny, of violent misogyny in the fact that he said that men are biologically more abusive. Imagine those people go on to have children that are both boys and girls, right? And they both exist inside that same house, right? And we talk about having different sets of parents, right? The parent I had is different to my siblings' parent, and like because they learn, they grow, they do different things. But just think about how insidious it is for siblings who are both brother and sister under one roof, hearing that to be masculine and is to be more abusive, and therefore their young boys are conditioned to hit, punch, slap, push, kick their sisters, and in that same vein, they are conditioning their daughters to tolerate it. And it's not just one family doing it; it's multiple families. And that, when you on a large scale of what that person was just saying, it is scary to think, because I've heard sickening stories of daughters knowing that their value has been less than their brothers, whereby their parents made sure that their sisters were picking up after them, waiting on them hand and foot for their brothers, and that's part of it, right? That's part of the misogyny of looking at your sister, your daughter, and going, you are to bow down to your brothers. That's one thing, right? And I've heard of that story before, I know it's true. But what's really upsetting and angering and frustrating me is that there will be men like that previous guest who date women who unfortunately have been conditioned by men like that guest to tolerate that, and then they will go on to have kids who are socialized in the same house to believe the same things that they've been taught, who will then grow up, meet other people, and repeat that same cycle, unless men actively do something about their conditioning to make sure they're not passing it on. Absolutely, Kitty. If we add layers of disability to it, it's another level of complexity. And that's not to say that these situations can't also be racialized. How does that whole situation get impacted when one person is black, one person is white? When a white man marries a black woman and he's instilling in all of them that his place as a white man is top dog, and the black women that are around him are beneath him. Please, everyone, if nothing else today, think about all of that. Think about all of that. And I'm not saying that the women haven't clocked this. I know that, as a man, I am just waking up. I learn new stuff every day, but I want everyone to understand that level of insidious, that level of conditioning, it's not just this new wave of generation of men that are doing it. He was taught by his grandpa, his dad, his grandpa, and they were taught by their dads and their grandpa. And unless men actively decide that they want to change it, that cycle of abuse, of control, of oppression is going to perpetuate. Which is why, again, understand that Lex and I are not here to change men's mind. We are here to create a catalyst for the men to want to do better themselves. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking. because we've got people in the guests. Love you. Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay. Jace has disappeared. David, if you want to come up, you need to drop a galaxy, buddy, because you got galaxied off. Sorry. Jace, if you're still around, then you can re-request. I think the next couple of days are meant to be a lot more mild, Queen of Soka. So today's been okay, actually. Hasn't been too hot. A few days before it was quite warm. We did last night, yeah. We did, Laura. No, Ames, don't say that. No. No. Give me 1 second. I'm just checking to see if we've got anything here. All these rewards. There have not been many rewards for flares. It's a shame. Who else? Who else? Oh. There we go. Yeah, you are. David, I've already said you need to drop a galaxy to join because you got galaxied off. So I'm afraid the answer is no. For those of you that missed out on the lives, I have already uploaded both of yesterday's lives. No, James, only if you got dropped by a galaxy. Age and pronouns, please, James. No, okay, never mind, never mind. No worries, Lindy. James, I did accept your request. I think we've also got 253 followers. So if anybody wants to add to that follow list to get us to 255, that'd be incredible. Kitty has posted the link in the chat amongst a few other people as well. And then you will be able to watch all of the 257. Sorry, 257. If you want to help me get to 260, that would be amazing. 258. 2 more to go. Come on. 2 more to go to get to that 260. You can catch up on all of the lives. You can also watch all the videos that I upload here. Sandy Paper, appreciate you. Thank you so much. It's just also because if anyone misses any of the lives, you have a place you can go to catch up on them as well. And yeah, some of them were quite intense. Some of them were really intense. Pawsy, I know. I will say, everyone, that I may have a potential collab on the horizon where I will potentially be doing a video that links into the 100K. Stay tuned. I think you might like the video. $259. Oh, lovely. Has said video been agreed upon? Just so I know. And also, I can ask you later, but the concept of products, like how does that work? Oh, Samantha! Look at that. That sat nicely. Appreciate you, Samantha. As always, thank you. Forgot about that. We need to ask that, don't we? We need to ask like if and when. Yeah. It's an exciting collab, don't you worry. Doon, 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 doon. Amazing, amazing. Max! Gosh, no. Goodness me. Maybe. Appreciate that, Helen. So I can do that, Kay, but what I need to do is I need to do a link tree, basically. I need to put that back up. I've got too many links that I need to add, to be fair. Do they? Do they really? They don't need to send that one. Oh, God. Okay. Oh, serious? Oh my gosh. All right. Okay. I thought they wanted the boxing to be shown as well. I thought that they wanted okay, I don't know. But are they actually sending any others? Oh, Lauren, you absolute legend. Thank you so much. Kate, I'll be honest with you, I would love to find a way to be able to stream on like multiple platforms at once. I don't quite know the logistics on how to set that all up and make sure that doing it here on my phone also then goes to the other platforms at the same time. I think it has to be done from the computer. If it has to be done from the computer, the internet's fine. Trust me, as a gamer, the internet's fine. It's just more about the setup of like understanding, do I still do it on my phone? But then how do I find a way to do it? Like if the phone is the primary, you know what I mean? How does that work with regards to like, it's almost like I need 3 screens or something. That's it. I thought that was it, JTech. Noemi, trust me, there will be some men just like silently listening in the background, which is fine. But as we've always said, the lives, they go in waves. Sometimes they go a bit quiet and then they just randomly shot up. I might have to change some of the prompts. It might be that some of the prompts have kind of like run its course, especially the top and bottom one. Yeah, my issue is I would literally need someone to walk me through how to do it all. And the other problem I have is I can't do it on the PC in the evenings because it's right next to the kids' room and that would be really loud. So again, logistically, it's very difficult. Very, very difficult. I have to find a way to lock myself in the garage or something. Mind you, let me see if I can do a different prompt. Bear with me. What do we have? I'm going to do this one. Right, okay. Scoots, not as often as I used to. did that, it made me zoom in. Ooh. Raina, how did you know that was me? Bardo! That's me, Bard number one. Number one Bard. No two ways about it. Boss, age and pronouns, please.
Oh,
Oh yeah, age and pronouns, please.
20 him.
Thank you. Which prompt do you disagree with?
The first one, it's all men because men don't even know which ones to avoid.
Yep. What do you want to say about it?
So the second part of the statement is correct because no one knows who the bad people in society are. But what they're saying it's all men achieve here, like it's always a minority who does all this.
Yeah, so what it achieves is recognizing that, all men are part of the conversation. It doesn't accuse you of a violation. So let's say a woman was walking down the street, it's late at night, no one's around, and a man is walking towards her, right? Who do you think on average will feel more uncomfortable in that situation, her or him?
Well, her, but that's not really a fixable thing, though.
Okay, but let's just wait. So let me now remove him out of the equation, and I'll replace him with a different man. They're both walking towards each other. On average, who's likely to feel more uncomfortable, her or him?
Still her.
Okay, so I agree. The point is, I could keep repeating this cycle over and over again, and because you and I both don't know which man I'm putting in the scenario, we still both agree that we believe on average she will feel more uncomfortable. Now, we could have both put two men in there that are wonderful men, probably the kindest men in the world, but the point is we still don't know because it's random, and therefore she doesn't know, and she will feel more uncomfortable. The point is you could do that with all the men. Every individual man that you put in that scenario, we are still probably going to believe on average she will feel more uncomfortable. Does it mean all of them are dangerous? No. But is she going to be wary and cautious of all of them? Yeah. That's why it's all men, because we don't know which ones, men don't know which ones, and so women being wary and cautious of all of them is completely understandable.
Okay, so this statement is a bit manipulative because when you make a statement like it's all men, the instant reaction of everyone is that, oh, it's 51%, 60%, 70%. The large majority of men are going out and assaulting women. But if you know it's 5% or 10, why not just bring the proper statement?
It's very difficult to hear because it keeps cutting out. I don't know whether it's signal or your microphone, but I can't quite make out everything you're saying. This happens, I'll be honest with you, boss.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's a bit better, but this does happen every time we talk.
Oh, my bad. But is it clearer now?
Yeah, that is better.
Okay, so what I was trying to say basically was it is a bit manipulative to say all men and then because why not we can agree it's let's say less than 10% who engage in these behaviors.
No,
If we know it's a minority of men, yeah?
I don't believe it is. All men hold on to
Just give an estimate.
All men hold on to misogyny. So all men need to unpack it. And that misogyny can vary from person to person, but all men still hold on to it. So all men are part of the problem until all men are part of the solution.
Oh my god. But we're talking about violent situations, criminal situations before.
You are.
But okay, even if we want to reduce this
Wait,
down to
No, why are you talking about that? I never spoke about that. You've just decided to focus on that. That's the problem. You're assuming that that's what
we're talking about a woman on an alley.
Okay. But you just agreed.
Yeah, like her safety.
Yeah, but you agreed with me that she would be wary and cautious of all the men that she pretty much walked past. So regardless of your 10%, as far as she's concerned, she needs to be wary of 100% of them.
Yeah, I agree with that, but the issue is telling every single man that, oh, you're a violent person, you harm women. That doesn't really help, though.
No one said that. That's what I'm saying. You're saying things that I haven't said. I didn't once say that we're telling all men they are all violent.
Okay, so for the all men hold on to misogyny thing, how? Like, could you give a common example of something a large amount of men do?
We live in a patriarchy. So we are all ingrained to hold on to misogyny because that is what patriarchy is. It's upheld by it. Men benefit in comparison to women from all the different systems within the patriarchy. whether it's legal, whether it's social, whether it's media, whether it's healthcare, whether it's education, workplace, whether it's violence, like all of those things, men benefit from in comparison to women. We are all taking part in that system and using that in ways to our advantage, whether that's in some ways that are more subtle than others or some that are more obvious than others. The amount of men that will call men men, but then women girls in the same sentence, or men will call men men and call women females. That's a very obvious example of dehumanization towards women. Whilst a lot of men don't seem to care and think it doesn't hold much impact, that's the point. That's your privilege speaking, because you don't have to face that. So there's plenty of examples we could keep going on with. If you look at the Grape Pyramid, you can Google that and move out the letter G. You can look at all of the behaviors there that I believe the majority, if not all of men at some point in their life have contributed in. From things like, locker room banter, from things like sharing unsolicited pictures, objectifying women, catcalling, all of those behaviors.
Okay. Are you still speaking?
No, go on.
Okay, so the issue here is that when you're talking about a patriarchy, you're talking about a systemic issue that's upheld by both men and women. Because we do know that a lot of women do factor into supporting and maintaining this patriarchal system. And if we're talking on the men, basically, the men are trying to undo that patriarchy and are trying to fight against the patriarchy, but when they are trying to undo it, they're also getting resistance from women as well.
Don't do that, boss. Don't try and blame women. Men are not doing that. Men are not trying
I'm
to.
not blaming women.
You are. You're saying that men, for a start, you're saying men are trying to dismantle patriarchy, which is not true. And then you're saying women are fighting or pushing back against it. Men are not trying to dismantle patriarchy.
To a degree.
Where?
To a degree, we've noticed that women do prefer benevolent patriarchy over egalitarian societies. To a degree.
Tell me where men are trying to break down the patriarchy. Give me some like obvious examples.
Obvious examples would be, if we're being simple, well, I don't want to bring it to just dating, but sure, 50-50. Something like that. Something like that is a simple example I can think of.
What is?
50-50 split of responsibilities in relationships, be it financial, emotional, or whatever.
Yeah,
And
men aren't
obviously
doing that.
trying to.
You realize that like women that go to work and come back home to their partners still do more of the domestic household chores than men do. Like women used to do it when they were stay-at-home mums. Women still do it more whilst working a job as well. So men are not doing that. Men are not doing 50-50. They're saying they'll do 50-50. Their actions aren't following that up. I'm going to bring Kitty in. Hi, Kitty.
Hi, Kitty42, she, her.
Hi, Kitty.
Hi. I would just love to know where these men are that are trying to, in large numbers, dismantle the patriarchy. Because usually they're most likely in my DMs, other moderators and women of femme presenting people, particularly in these online spaces, threatening us, exposing themselves, doxing, rape threats, unaliving threats, ableism, misogynoir, transphobia to many people. I mean, I could go on. I don't know where they are. We can speak about I can sit here all day and provide statistics in regards to the high numbers and disproportionate numbers of women and femme presenting people getting harmed by men. But in all honesty, I don't think that'll make a difference to your perspective. I don't think you'll change your mind on it, because you really seem to be focused upon trying to shift the responsibility of, but women still uphold it, but women do this. Women are not the ones causing the disproportionate levels of harm. It's men. We know that. We're in a global femicide. Things are getting worse.
You're done?
I'm done now.
Okay, thanks. The issue that I really tend to have with discussions like this is it's always pushed sort of, it doesn't focus on the average normal person. I can't really think of a normal human man just doing these evils. It's just like they're living their life, focused on their goals, trying to achieve their dreams. I'm not seeing men going out, hitting women, attacking women, doing evil to women, oppressing women. Like, you get what I'm saying? So
Yeah, it's
for me,
happening.
for
Yes,
most,
just for 1 second, because it's happening in people's homes. That's where women and femme presenting people statistically are at most risk of harm, in their own homes. That's where they're statistically most at risk by intimate partner violence or family member, predominantly men. Just because you're not going out and seeing it doesn't mean it's not happening.
okay, can I hear you?
Okay, and if you're not one of the men doing that, then brilliant. But what are you doing to try and dismantle the patriarchy? What solutions? What are you
What
doing to hold other
can,
men accountable?
what do you mean by hold them accountable?
Well,
Like,
hold the
how do you
harmful
even know
men,
who?
hold the harmful men accountable, educate them, call them out when they're doing misogynistic behaviours.
Isn't that what law is for? Like, men who hit women, they get arrested.
They don't.
Like,
Yeah.
now, wait, I can understand if you mean there should be an improvement to the legal system. That is true. But if we're keeping it on the criminal side of things, yes, we need to improve the legal system, but those men get arrested. It's hard to
They
spot
don't,
those
though.
tendencies
Yes.
early.
Off.
What?
What I'd like you to do is, I've already referenced a signpost with you to a resource. It's called
Okay.
the Grape Pyramid, and remove the letter G. I genuinely want you to go away and look at it and look at all of those behaviors on there and recognize that a lot of those behaviors aren't arrestable offenses, but a lot of them happen within friendship groups. Right? You need to start you need to kind of get this conviction and criminal part out of your mind, because you're focusing on like the most heinous forms of misogyny, in comparison to recognizing how there are a lot of misogynistic behaviors that lead up to those things beforehand. And those are the things that start within friendship groups that become enabled when men objectify women, when men use slurs about women, and the men around them just laugh. The men around them reaffirm that. The men around them think it's okay to talk about women and femme presenting people like that. When they keep on doing that, you create a I don't know if culture is the word. Well, it's grape culture. So yeah, you create grape culture around you that basically says this is okay. You know, like that's not challenging one another. That's not calling it out. That's enabling it. That's saying we're okay to view women in society like this. And unless one of you calls it out or comes away from that group after, if they choose not to listen, you become someone just as bad as them, because you're essentially saying I'm okay with being around these types of behaviors. So I'm not saying that we should ignore the convictions of the most horrible forms of misogyny. Of course not. But as Kitty said, 5% of SA cases make it to a court, I believe, in the UK. 95% don't even make it that far. Does that mean that they're not happening? No. So, one thing that you've probably said that I do agree with is, yeah, the justice system needs to change massively, 100%. But it doesn't remove the fact that, that many things that are done on that high level, there's no justice for women. What was it, Kitty? Like 434 days or something?
400. Yeah, I would need to
Around
fact
that?
check that, but around over 400 days it takes for justice to be served, if it gets to that point within
That's
the
for someone-
UK.
That's for someone experiencing grape specifically, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, grape and SA.
Yeah. So that's how long it takes. And when we've got behaviors such as we said earlier, catcalling, stalking, locker room banter, all these different types of things that just become very easily embedded in everyday teenage boys and men's language. Unfortunately, it makes it that much more harder to then unpack, because it's like, hey, for years we're okay talking about women like this. For years we're okay viewing women like this. For years we're okay treating women like this. And it's going to take one of us to go, do you know what you just did there? No. Men don't do that. Like, they don't. I'm going to pass back to Kitty, because I don't know if I sort of interjected at a point of something you wanted to say.
No, that's the thing. We can't even many of us don't even feel safe to go to the police because the police are also causing harm as well in high numbers towards women and femme presenting people. And there's a number of cases that we could absolutely present here. But again, it gets to the point, at what point are men going to start taking this seriously? We could provide every statistic. The women and femme presenting people in these spaces come up here and, when relevant, share our lived experiences of harm as well. We've all been subjected to harm on varying levels, very, very serious harm. What's it going to take?
Okay.
Why can't men start working towards holding each other accountable and looking at active solutions? I mean, there's only so many times women can ask. We've been asking for hundreds of years in a variety of different ways for men to stop harming women and femme presenting people. It doesn't matter how we say it, how we address it, how we approach it, and whether it's a political system, whether it's through lived experience, whether it's through one-to-one conversations, educational spaces, things are getting worse. That's why we run this live the way that we do, because men are not listening to women and femme presenting people. Men seem to listen to other men. But even then, I don't feel that's happening here.
Boss, obviously, if you want to respond, go for it, and then we'll probably come to a close on
Yeah.
this conversation. But anything you want to add, boss?
Okay, so I do hear everything that y'all are mentioning. Can I ask a bit of a question though? So,
Mm-hmm.
do you believe? Yeah. Okay. So what I want to ask basically was, do you believe that it's just normal guys, like just normal people who aren't intentionally harming women, or who maybe what they're doing is an unconscious or subconscious trait that has been programmed into them, something like that, basically?
Conditioning.
Did you hear me?
Yeah, I'm saying
Yeah.
conditioning. Like under patriarchy,
Okay, can I clarify?
men are conditioned
Oh.
to have certain beliefs towards women, girls, femme presenting people, and those behaviors.
Yeah, Sarah, I have to go.
Well, as I always say, and this is the only way I can continue to do this, is there's always someone listening. There's always value to these discussions. There's always something I think we can learn, all of us. I'm saying this in a very regulating way for myself, and hopefully someone else can take this on too, because I know it's very, very triggering. Because we repeat ourselves up here. I check my DMs in fear continually through the live because I don't know what I'm going to be on the receiving end, and I'd rather be prepared. We speak about the things that we think are relevant if we think it's maybe going to land in regards to education, even if it's very triggering for ourselves, and we're aware of the impact it may have on others in this space. And yeah, we know this is triggering. Please do know these noises are very overstimulating. But thank you, chat, for the support for the community. All I'm going to say is this: the community, the positive DMs, the DMs where people are looking for respectfully education and trying to unpack, they do exist. Okay, not just in my DMs, but the rest of the moderating team as well. So please hold on to hope, because I know this is what's the word? Lex, help me out here.
Triggering.
Keep going.
Chat,
help me out. There's a word here. It feels invalidating, but that's not the word I'm looking for. Demoralizing. There we go. It can feel very. I'm loving all the different words that are coming out. It can feel all of those things, but education does work. It really, really does. We just, as we know, it's going to take time. Take a break if needed, hydrate.
Oh, there's lots of D's being shared in the chat. Loving
Oh,
it.
love the D. Anyway, right, I'll go drop. Thanks, bye.
Thanks, Kitty. Yeah, and I think there also becomes an element of huge frustration when it's a particular guest that is here quite continuously. Boss